Remember what I said about Neuwirth? He's in net, we get wins. We forced game 6! We forced game 6! We're coming back to Philly! That was a beautiful noise. So we're just gonna start from the beginning of the game, where the game gets kicked off with Braden Shen going to town on TJ Oshie. Braden has a tendency to be like 50-50 on if he's good at fights or not, and because sometimes he just gets completely destroyed. But then sometimes he does things like go to town on TJ Oshie. The Caps went into game 5 like they just wanted to steamroll right over us. They thought they were going to play a physical game and just monster us, and hello, we are the Broad Street Bullies. Who thinks they can outmuscle us? Like, that's a good idea? I don't think so. There's a reason why 95% of the teams in this league hate us. We play the most physical game there is. We play rough. We play tough. You can't out-tough guy us. I'm sorry. But where you can't out-tough guy us, you can apparently outplay us and outshoot us. We may have won the game. We had 11 shots total. One of them was on the empty net. So Holtby only faced 10 shots that entire game. An entire game! So our actual goal on Holtby was in the second period, where we had a total of 2 shots. That entire period, 50% of our shots went in. Like, how outrageous is that? So, you can outshoot us. You outshoot us 44-11. But that just shows you how absolutely incredible Neuwirth is. He stood on his head. He got a shutout against the best team in the league. Like, outrageous. 44 saves? That's seriously insane. So, wait, let's get to the board. Hello, board. Where first goal was scored by Ryan White, which isn't absolutely outrageous. Still like a million people on this team that I would have thought made the board before Ryan White, but it's not god awful. But we get down here to Vandevelde. So I have a little WTF sitting here, because honest to God, you don't expect people like Chris Vandevelde to score in the playoffs. But still, the board is seriously lacking some Claude Giroux, some Wayne Simmons. So hopefully they'll bring it for the home crowd on Sunday. Moving on to the rest of the games, I stayed up incredibly late last night to watch some overtime games. The first one that went to overtime was the Panthers-Islanders game. That series is so, like, bleh to me. The fact that I had to sit through 2 overtimes to get to the end of that game was just not something I wanted to do. But they did make it really exciting. There was a penalty shot in overtime. You don't get penalty shots in playoff games. You don't even get penalty shots in regular season games. And now you're doing a penalty shot in overtime of a playoff game? That's absolutely mind-blowing to me. Well, the Florida guy missed, so it wasn't over after that. But they went on to play an entire another period after that. It went to double OT, and Islanders ended up winning it, so they're winning the series 3-2 right now. The other game that went to overtime was the Stars Wild game, which was insane. I loved that game so much. Well, the Stars went down 2-0 really early in that game, and then they kept building it back, and they got to a point where they were actually up 4-3 over the Wild, like right at the end of the game. And then I don't know how much was left in the game, but I know that it was really late in the game when the Wild tied it up, and they went to OT, and then the Wild won it in OT, and I was so disappointed because it was an elimination game, and I wanted the Stars to win it really badly, but they didn't. So Wild pushed game 6, and that's also on Sunday. But there was one team that got eliminated last night, and it was the Kings. And the Sharks just kind of came over and was like, let me eat you, and then they completely destroyed them last night. It was wonderful. They had gone up 3-0, and the Kings managed to tie that back up, but then the Sharks just kept coming and coming and coming, and the Kings didn't come back anymore, and the Kings are now out. Thank the Lord, means they can't win the cup. Now we just have to get the Blackhawks out, so they can't win the cup, and we'll finally have somebody new to win it, and I can't wait. It's late enough in the day, and it's Saturday, that the Penguins-Rangers game is already over. The Penguins won, the Penguins eliminated the Rangers, and I'm just so disappointed. I wanted the Rangers to win. And so the Penguins won that series 4-1. They move on to play whoever wins in our series, So I'll let the Penguins have their little round 1 win, because no matter what, they're not getting out of round 2. I'll let them have their little victory. I have a friend who's a Penguins fan. I'll let her like live in this little happy bubble where the Penguins are winning, because it will not last long. Outside of that, the Ducks Preds are playing right now. I do not know the score. Let's look up the score. Scoreless after 1. This is game 5. It'll be the tie-breaking game. And I'll let you know in the next video how that game ends. And then the Blues Blackhawks play tonight. Again, an elimination game. The Blues are currently up 3-2. Hopefully they can finally push out the Blackhawks. That would be nice. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. I hit 7 different series, and the Red Wings are still eliminated. Like, there we go. All eight series. So I'm gonna end this video now before my lighting gets even worse. So leave a comment below. Tell me how awesome you think Michael Neuwirth is, because I think he's an absolute god. He is phenomenal. He is a heavenly angel. I want to worship the ground he walks on. Tell me you agree, because who would possibly have an opinion that differed from that? But give this video a thumbs up, a like, whatever it's called. Subscribe to see what else is coming up, and I will see you after Game 6 when the Flyers take down the Caps in Philly. I'm literally so mad at myself for pushing this off until the lighting got sucky. Did you know that every time Jamie Benn scores, they'll play Benny and the Jets? My hand goes here. Look how, let me turn off this light. You ready?